Good evening from New York. Thanks for watching us tonight. Saving the folks from economic hardship. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Let's get to work. I'm going to get very specific tonight. In the face of all of this disaster.
Jobs are not a sidebar. Jobs are not a boutique issue for people concerned about the social implications of what's going on in America's economy. Jobs are actually the economy. Jobs are actually the central economic issue in the United States.
A lot of people tonight are trying to make sense of what has happened in the stock markets.
They're all confused by what's going on Wall Street.
Obviously, trillions of dollars being lost in the private sector.
While they were selling every stock that they could get anywhere near, what did they buy? They bought U.S. Treasury bonds. A U.S. Treasury bond is you loaning the United States some money in exchange for a promise from the United States that the country will pay you back with interest.
Shares of the federal government's debt are still considered the safest investment in the world by experienced investors on the first trading day after Standard & Poor's took the unprecedented political action of downgrading Treasury's long-term debt from AAA to AA+.
We talk so much about that inextricable link between China and the United States. That's part of the reason why, no matter how angry they get with us, they're not going to go ahead and sell our debt because they simply can't.
Washington seems to be quite offended by the idea that the S&P would chime in on the fact that some of their judgment was about Congress's inability to come to an agreement on what to do, and their connecting of the budgeting process to the payment of our debt process, which they said is not worthy of a AAA country. I mean, Piers, it seems to be a fair criticism. Washington has sort of embarrassed itself in the last few months.
49% of them said they were dissatisfied with their local congressman. That hasn't happened before in my lifetime.
Now, they didn't listen to the Tea Party. The Tea Party was principled.
I'm sorry if this sounds partisan to point it out, but this was not both sides committing the same error. This was one side. This was Republicans alone causing this problem by saying they would not raise the debt ceiling.
Such patriots. They asked for it, they got it.
Because as mentioned, those zealots will never admit their economic policies are a disaster.
I think that signaled to investors, to Wall Street, to the general population that we would sooner kind of throw our economy around like a hot potato than actually enact sensible policy that might help get us out of this.
Good luck with that one. It's such a crock. Don't you think that's a crock?
Barack Obama, now with the stock market collapsing, I don't see how he can come back.
He can't.
All right, but it's all coming home to roost because we have a liberal president who doesn't seem to understand that he has to stop spending. I think that message is a very bad message. But let's be fair about that. I want to be fair about this.
The average amount of time people stay unemployed in America is at its highest level since ever.
Now, a lot of people really almost can't afford to wait. They can't wait for these. They can't afford to wait for the November committee to meet and do cuts. So they can't wait for some tax cuts or tax revenue or whatever. People can't afford to wait because these solutions seem long-term, and people need help right now. They need the economy going today.
You are killing my buzz, girlfriend.
The real expression here is a lack of faith in the leadership in Washington, D.C. As you say, to be fair.
Right now, we're not seeing a lot of that kind of leadership in Washington.
I think it's an example of really the failure of leadership.
Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Our president has failed miserably in that department of influence.
Am I seeing this right objectively, or am I just a conservative ideologue?
We are insane, but we like you, and that's why we're doing this.
And when you say insane, you mean super, super, super right-wing.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay, so obviously a pack of lies from start to finish.
It's political grandstanding if the president asks the Congress to do something on jobs, and he says there are things that they can do right now.
Put it together, put it to the Congress, and if they want to vote against it, then let them.
Get out on the road, Mr. President, and talk more about jobs. Talk about beating back a radical agenda that is attacking middle-class workers in this country. That is the fight.
That's so ridiculous. Waste of time.
Life is hard, then you die.
Okay.
Is there an economic element to this?
I can call this napkin a paper towel, but it is a napkin.
Good grief, Rich. Get some fresh air, will you?
This is a very bad, no good day.
I need a nap.
Maybe things could be worse, and I think the market took that as a sigh of relief.
Because this country will be back. It'll be back strong and bold.
Thanks for your time tonight. It's a hell of a story.
Again, thanks for watching us tonight. I am Bill O'Reilly. Please remember the spin stops right here because we are definitely looking out for you.